America's deficit dilemma, meanwhile. The federal deficit projected to increase by $600 billion during this fiscal year. That's more than a 35% increase over fiscal year 2015, according to the Office of Management and Budget. Will deficit reduction be a top priority for our next president? I want to bring in right now Martin Feldstein, a former Reagan economic advisor and a former economic senior advisor to the Jeb Bush presidential campaign. Marty, it is great to see you.
Good to see you again.
So how important is this deficit issue and the fact that our entitlements are going broke? And you think it's going to be a priority for the next president?
Well, it is very important. You know, you said $600 billion, and that's the official number. That's $2,000 per person. $2,000 per person. Family of four, that's $8,000. That's not the debt. That's the increased debt this year alone. That's the extra amount that the government is borrowing. So it can't go on like that. And the only way to deal with it is to slow the growth of the entitlements. We're on a path in which defense spending is going to go down to the lowest share of GDP we've had since World War II. The same is going to be true for the non-defense annually appropriated spending. So 2.5% of GDP. So we're not going to solve this problem by going after either defense or all a myriad of little annually appropriated programs.
Or like an infrastructure program.
Well, an infrastructure program is going to be more spending.
Right.
And, you know, the Fed has sort of made it look like this is all very easy because interest rates are so low. The bond vigilantes are gone, and there's no pushback.
So, Marty, with this 19 or $20 trillion in debt, yet the percentage that the government's paying on that debt is at historically low levels. If we got growth, which caused the Fed to raise interest rates, wouldn't that kind of really compound this problem?
Oh, it certainly would. It certainly will. I mean, the Congressional Budget Office thinks we're going to go back to, quote, normal interest rates. But with the kind of debt that we have and the kind of borrowing that's going on, I don't see why interest rates won't be higher in the future in real terms than they have been historically.
But isn't growth really what we would want to, like, under normal circumstances, if you wanted to pay down, reduce the deficit, you'd want growth, right? But in this case...
The only way to reduce the deficit is to either raise taxes or cut spending. So you can reduce the size of the debt relative to GDP, but the real change has to come from changing the amount of borrowing that we do.
How do you characterize the economy right now?
The U.S. economy is in good shape, actually, despite all this. There's more uncertainty, there's more to worry about, but I would say we're in good shape. And the main thing I keep looking at is what's happening to labor markets and to personal income and to spending. And you see households are continuing to increase their spending.